Hello and welcome to the Memory Arcade. I wasn't even sure if I would stream today, but I got nothing to do this afternoon and I might just as well get this started. My 3-game marathon of Ocarina of Time, Wind Waker and Twilight Princess. Actually, I'm kidding, or at least half kidding. We did just do 3 Final Fantasies back to back, and I still feel a little exhausted from that, to be honest. What I want to do is play a Zelda game, because I love Zelda a lot, and any excuse to do that, like, I don't want to play a turn-based RPG. Yeah. It's good enough an excuse for me. That looks like spoilers. Although this is obviously a spoilers alert stream because I've played this game a bunch of times, and yeah, it's not even that story focused. Right, no D-pad. Let's leave this on hold for now. Oh, this one get out of here. Ah, yeah. So I will struggle with the controls a little bit because I didn't. I'm playing this on a. We're playing this on the Wii U, on the Wii U Virtual Console version. Really good version if you don't mind it being a little darker than on some other consoles, which you probably won't even notice because I added a brightness filter to it in OBS to make it like a 0.1, like 10% brighter. And for me on my display, it looks absolutely fine. But the controls. Oh, the controls. Yeah, remember the N64 pad? I've strived to make the button setup. Hello Yokip, how are you? I've strived to make the button setup similar in layout than how it was on the N64, meaning that the face buttons, the lowest of the face buttons will be my A button, which is also the B button. Stream title? No, it's actually a reference to a wonderful bit by George Carlin, where he discussed getting older, because I think he was either pushing or he already was 80 years old at that point. And the whole bit was like, he talked about the benefits of aging or reaching old age. And one of them was that you can mess with your family by faking dementia, which in and of itself sounds kind of horrible. But he told it this way: you take a long look around the table at a family gathering, and then suddenly go very loudly, "Who are you people, and where's my horse?" Just to keep them on their toes, just so that they pay attention to you, because they will after that, apparently. Great comedian. I sadly never watched any of his stuff while he was still alive. So anyway, yeah, the whole button situation. We had this in Majora's Mask. It's gonna be a little fucked. I'm gonna be pressing a lot of wrong buttons here, and this is why. Okay, so the boy's name is In the vast deep forests of Hyrule, long have I served as the guardian spirit. I am known as the Deku Tree. The children of the forest, the Kokiri, live here with me. Each Kokiri has his or her own guardian fairy. However, there is one boy who does not have a fairy. He is also not a Kokiri, so maybe he's a bad example. Navi, now we were out thou, come hither. Are we doing the very selective Old English thing again, as with Sign Final Fantasy VI? O Navi the fairy, listen to my words, the words of the Deku Tree. Dost thou sense it? The climate of evil descending upon this realm. Malevolent forces even now are mustering to attack our land of Hyrule. For so long, the Kokiri Forest, the source of life, has stood as a barrier deterring outsiders and maintaining the order of the world. But before this tremendous evil power, even my power is as nothing. It seems that time has come for the boy without a fairy to begin his journey, the youth whose destiny it is to lead Hyrule to the path of justice and truth. Navi, go now. Find our young friend and guide him to me. I do not have much time left. Fly, Navi, fly. The fate of the forest, nay, the world, depends upon thee. Still seems like an odd thing to entrust to a little boy, but we're just gonna roll with it. Hey, kitty cat. Cat, you would not believe the irony of you. Yeah, doing this just now when Navi is making her entrance. I should have named you Navi, honestly. Hello, hello there, Link. The Great Deku Tree wants to talk to you. Link, get up. Hey, come on. Can Hyrule's destiny really depend on such a lazy boy? Finally woke up. I'm Navi the Fairy. The Great Deku Tree asked me to be your partner from now on. Nice to meet you. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you, so let's get going, right now. No, I've played this many times. Welcome to the chat. Anyway. Yeah. I'm good. I'm a little distracted right now because one of my cats has developed this habit to climb up on the back of a chair and mess with a whiteboard with magnets on it and all. But other than that, I'm super. So here's a little thing we didn't see in Majora's Mask. Pre-rendered backgrounds. Yeah, they used them here for a hot minute. And they were kind of an interesting choice. Not a bad choice, absolutely not. But yeah, they're sometimes forgotten. Yahoo! Hi, Link. Wow, a fairy! Finally, a fairy came to you. Oh, that's great news. I'm so happy for you. Now you're a true Kokiri, Link. Is that right? The Great Deku Tree has summoned you? It's quite an honor to talk to the Great Deku Tree. I'll wait for you here. Get going. Go see the Great Deku Tree. Ah. Free Breath of the Wild Zelda. With the license to bonk into everything. You're not allowed to leave the forest. The Great Deku Tree said that if a Kokiri leaves the woods, he or she will die. The Great Deku Tree has summoned you. Please come with me. Okay. Hey you, Mr. No Fairy, what's your business with the Great Deku Tree? Without a fairy, you're not even a real man. That's the sentence. What? You got a fairy? Say what? The Great Deku Tree actually summoned you? What? Why would he summon you and not the Great Mido? This isn't funny. I don't believe it. You aren't even fully equipped yet. How do you think you're going to help the Great Deku Tree without both a sword and a shield ready? What? You're right, I don't have my equipment ready, but if you want to pass through here, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Yeah, so Mido is a dickbag, and he has been for over 20 years. Look over here with C and talk to me with A. Yes, that's how you use a fairy. It's so great that you finally have a fairy partner. I'll teach you how to talk to people using your fairy. Then a fairy flies, and so on and so forth. So, a few months ago we already played Majora's Mask on the stream, so the very, very tutorial stuff in this game I'm not gonna read aloud and just skip over. Also, I should do something about accidentally pressing the right stick. Can I set it to nothing? Maybe? No? Okay, I'll just try not to press it then. I haven't even said anything about what this game was like to experience back in '98 when it finally came out. After, oh god, I don't know how many delays there were. It felt like an eternity. The N64 was pretty late on arrival anyway. I'm not sure if it even beat the PlayStation to market. But yeah, this was basically the game that everyone wanted to play. Even when the N64, at the time still called the Ultra 64, wasn't even out yet. To equip. Right, because there are different swords in this game. Huh. And I remember like a first, probably like a very simple E3 thing, and it just showed Link, who looked a lot like... Actually, I don't know what he looked like. He didn't look like this. He had very dark brown hair, and the graphics were a bit simpler, and it was basically just... I'm not sure if there was any combat, but what I do remember is Link just opening a treasure chest, and it was very suspenseful, and it was in 3D, and everyone flipped their shit when they saw that footage. Mostly pre-internet too. So if anything, the way I saw that footage was probably on VHS tapes that Nintendo Power would send you for free if you if you wrote them. Kind of something like that. And yeah, it was Zelda in 3D and everyone really wanted to play it. And this could have very easily been a be careful what you wish for scenario, because I don't want to shit on other franchises too much here, but if you've played the first couple of Tomb Raider games, which had their moment in time and were kind of cool in their way, but it wasn't in any way comparable to the good times that were to be had with, say, A Link to the Past, because the whole movement thing was still very rough. The graphics look kind of scattershot. By the way, how much is the shield anyway? $40, okay. What I'm trying to say is that there was really no guarantee that a 3D Zelda game would be good and would live up to the hype. And somehow Nintendo managed to nail both Mario and Zelda on their first try. I guess that's what makes them Nintendo and gives them this gigantic pedigree that they still have to this day. Even though I don't think they've ever had to clear that kind of hurdle. I mean, I guess expectations for Breath of the Wild were pretty high, especially since a lot of people, myself included, didn't really get into Skyward Sword that much. And, hey, kitty cat, what's up? Oh. It's just very softly meowing at me, and I'm not quite sure what you want. But yeah, the jump to 3D was one that claimed a lot of franchises. And we're very lucky that Mario and Zelda were not among them. And even more so, I think Ocarina of Time is still perfectly playable today. Like, it looks rough, the textures are a mushy mess, but it still plays really well, aside from the fact that the second stick isn't used and things get a little chaotic when you try to play it on a on a different pad, but other than that, I find Mario 64 to be the rougher experience overall. Like it also still controls really well, but it's still a bit more loose and less refined than, say, Mario Galaxy, because of course they had many years to refine that, and Zelda never quite had the same dexterity level or dexterity requirement as Mario games. Oh. Alright, that free 5 rupee piece. If you want to see the Great Deku Tree, you should at least equip a sword and shield. Eh, what's that? Oh yeah, I have a Deku shield. What's that? Is that the Kokiri sword? Good grief. They hand this shit out to anybody these days. Well, even with all that stuff, a wimp is still a wimp, huh? I, the great Mido, will never accept you as one of us. Well, Mido, be that person on the wrong side of history and kindly get fucked. Oh, did you get to be the favorite of Saria and the Great Deku Tree? Yeah, I think Mido comes around later, but I still not quite cared for the little twerp. Got a Deku stick. Great Deku Tree, I'm back! Oh Navi, thou hast returned. Link, welcome. Listen carefully to what I, the Deku Tree, am about to tell thee. Thy slumber these past moons must have been restless and full of nightmares. As the servants of evil gain strength, a wild climate pervades the land and causes nightmares to those sensitive to it. Verily, thou hast felt it. Link, the time has come to test thy courage. I've been cursed. I need you to break the curse. Excuse me. With your wisdom and courage, dost thou have the courage enough to undertake this task? I guess. Then enter brave Link, and thou too, Navi. Navi the fairy, thou must aid Link. Link, when Navi speaks, use up to listen well to her words of wisdom. So I haven't been I haven't even been online for half an hour. I spent a good chunk of it talking about the game. And we're already in the first dungeon. I like how snappy they get us into the action. let's actually make a use of these fine items. Yeah. Look, look, Link. You can see it open below the web using... Hmm. Yeah. Look at this wall, the vines grow and give it a rough surface. Maybe you can climb it, Link. Yeah, maybe I also don't want to be knocked down by those spiders, so... She's a peach. Although I will say that I was never quite... Oh, forgive me, Master. If I give you a clue, will you let me go? When you jump off a high cliff, if you hold forward, you will roll on the ground when you land and won't get hurt from the fall. Can't guarantee it will work though. If the cliff is really, really high, well, try if you're feeling bold. So this was a thing that kinda passed me by. The intense and kinda mimetic hatred of Navi that some people apparently have. Sure, she can be annoying, especially when you already know the game, like me right now, and she just won't shut up. But I don't know. I kinda always liked her. Found a very slingshot. Okay. Where did I put my ranged weapons in? Majora's Mask. Okay, I guess it doesn't matter. Huh. Yeah. What I was trying to get at earlier. So, the Ultra 64 was announced. It was delayed a lot. It was renamed the N64. Then it finally came out. Gave us Mario. Mario was great. Bunch of other really cool stuff. And so on and so forth. But where was Zelda? And I don't quite remember the time frame from when the N64 launched and how long it was until Zelda was finally available. Especially since I was in Germany, we were like the last people to get these games in the European PAL region. So this was all even after the US launch, let alone Japan. And the difference in launch windows was way bigger back in the 90s. So basically, the N64 had been out for a long while, and they were already, I think they were already discussing that weird floppy disk-like add-on that they wanted to release, and I think eventually released in Japan. So this one actually made it to market, but they also realized that this thing would probably not find the kind of widespread adoption that they had previously hoped for. And I guess that's one of these things that you can lay squarely at the feet of Nintendo, because they miscalculated spectacularly. In the sense that they were like, yeah, Sony and Sega, they both switching to CD-ROMs, and that's all good and well, but those load times seem really long. We're gonna be the only company who sticks with cartridges for the time being. And yeah, how did that work out for them? First of all, cartridges apparently had to be bought or licensed from Nintendo. So the cost to develop for the N64 or rather publish games was already higher for everyone else, and apparently one company that really didn't like these conditions was Squaresoft, who then took their ball and went home, and by that I mean they took Final Fantasy and put it on and moved it to the PlayStation. Plus a lot of experiences that were emerging at the time heavily relied on cinematics and whatnot, because in-engine stuff still looked pretty poor at the time. So that was mostly a no-go, because the N64's cartridges were not in any way comparable to the amount of data you could put on a CD-ROM. But what the N64 did have going for it, for itself back in the day, was definitely that it was the oh, this is just for the way out, okay. That it was the more powerful device in many ways, in terms of sheer computational power. Yeah, by the way, we're not getting all of these fuckers. I think 30 gets you the biggest wallet, and that's about the amount I wanna go Skulltula hunting on this playthrough. And earlier I said that Nintendo miscalculated on the whole storage thing, and yeah, the disk system that they planned as an add-on and then only released in Japan in very limited quantities was kind of the admission to that. that they realized, yeah, well... Right. Those little cartridges are pretty small compared to CDs. And then, excuse me, my voice is kind of shoddy today. Yeah, and I think the idea originally was to develop Ocarina of Time for this disc system, and I realized they couldn't bring it to market like that in a lot of regions. They kinda... I don't think they really scaled down Ocarina of Time. I guess they just went about developing it differently. Yeah, but ultimately Ocarina of Time was then, after what could probably be called a bit of a bumpy development cycle, on account of the platform change and all that, it eventually came out, and it was this. It was really, really good. And good in the sense that it still holds up as a fun experience to play these days, and that it also put Zelda on a course where it would become, yeah, or where it would remain as popular as it had previously been. And then, sorry. And then they went and made Majora's Mask, and the entire world was like, oh yeah, Zelda can be weird. Zelda can be very weird in the off-season, and that's a good thing. Please forgive me, Master. I'll never do it again. If you spare me, I'll teach you something cool. You will never beat my brothers up ahead unless you punish them in the proper order. The order is 2, 3, and 1. Do you think I'm a traitor? Well, kinda are. After you get into the water, if you hold down A, you can dive. I bet there's some interesting things underwater. Earlier I joked about playing 3 Zelda games back to back, and that's not really what I have in mind. I want to get to, yeah, basically all of them. Maybe I'll even do I want to say a playthrough of Skyward Sword, although me complaining about Skyward Sword for 20 hours might not be the most fun to watch. Well, some of the dungeons were really good. But what I also wouldn't mind doing is go from Ocarina of Time to a game inspired by 3D Zelda, say Ico or Beyond Good and Evil. Because some of these quote-unquote clones are, you know, games that take a lot of inspiration from Ocarina of Time or 3D Zelda in general. Some of them are really good and kinda deserve their own place in the spotlight sometime. And it would be fun to kinda do this game now. I was also thinking, why should it be Ocarina? I could just play Wind Waker. But then I thought, yeah, Ocarina's kinda where it all started. In terms of at least the 3D component of the subgenre. And right, these exist. Definitely a bomb. But we don't have that yet. That's the first Zelda where they were like, but in order to use a bomb you also need a special pouch, and they don't give this to anyone, so you know. Until Breath of the Wild, it kinda went into the opposite direction of here's unlimited bombs. Go nuts. Here's a little shortcut we may or may not need. Oh yeah, we actually need it to get more fire. Yeah. Oh wow. That one did a number on us. That's much better. How did you know a secret? How irritating. It's so annoying that I'm going to reveal the secret of Queen Goma to you. They are really shoddy with information. In order to administer the coup de grace to Queen Goma, strike with your sword while she's stunned. As in every Zelda boss ever. Oh, Queenie, sorry about that. Why not even be a big key in this place? Anyway, here's a little nightmare fuel. Zelda does horror incredibly well. Duh. I feel a little bad for rushing the boss like that. Like, I think when she's at the ceiling and you leave her alone, she can also spawn little Gomas, and yeah, there's a little more to this fight when you're not very acquainted with the routine of Zelda bosses, as in hit the weak spot and then mash that sword button. Somewhat fierce. Well done, Link. Thou hast verily demonstrated thy courage. I knew that thou wouldst be able to carry out my wishes. Now I have yet more to tell you. Wouldst thou listen? You have a choice. Now, listen carefully. A wicked man of the desert cast this dreadful curse upon me. This evil man ceaselessly uses his vile sorcerer's powers in his search for the sacred realm that is connected to Hyrule. For it is in that sacred realm that one will find the divine relic, the Triforce, which contains the essence of the gods. Before time began, before spirits and life existed, 3 golden goddesses descended upon the chaos that was Hyrule. Din, the goddess of power. Nayru, the goddess of wisdom. Bowri, the goddess of courage. Din, with her strong flaming arms, she cultivated the land and created the Red Earth. Nairu poured her wisdom onto the earth and gave the spirit of law to the world. Aurora, with a rich soul, produced all life forms who could uphold the law. The three great goddesses, their labors completed, departed for the heavens, and golden sacred triangles remain at the point where the goddesses once were. Since then, the sacred triangles have become the basis of our world's providence, and the resting place of the triangles has become the sacred realm. I never noticed the Triforce theme in this part of the game. Probably was because I was always very busy reading. I was never allowed the desert man in black armor to lay his hands on the sacred Triforce. Well, that's gonna fail. I must never suffer that man with his evil heart to enter the sacred realm of legend. That evil man who cast the death curse upon me and sapped my power. Because of that curse, my end is nigh. Though your valiant efforts to break the curse were successful, I was doomed before you started. Yes, I will pass away soon, but do not grieve for me. I have been able to tell you of these important matters. This is Hyrule's final hope. Link, go now to Hyrule Castle. There thou wilt surely meet the Princess of Destiny. You can call her Zelda. Take the stone with you, the stone that man wanted to so much that he cast a curse on me. Yeah, give it to a nearly defenseless child. Got the Kokiri Emerald. This is the spiritual stone of the forest, now entrusted to you by the great Deku Tree. The future depends upon thee, Link, thou art courageous. Navi the Ferret, help Link to carry out my will. I entreat ye, Navi. Goodbye. Let's go to Hyrule Castle, Link. Goodbye, great Deku Tree. Hey Link, what did you do? The great Deku Tree. Did he die? How could you do a thing like that? It's all your fault. Mido is a dick, but conjecture here is not that far-fetched. Are we going into the Lost Ones? This stage? Oh. Oh, you're leaving. I knew that you would leave the forest someday, Link. Because you're different from me and my friends. But that's okay, because we'll be friends forever, won't we? I want you to have this ocarina. Please take good care of it. You received the Fairy Ocarina. This is a memento from Saria. Set it to a C button and press it to start playing. Yada yada yada. You can play different notes with A and the four C buttons. Press B to quit playing, or just want to start your song over again. When you play Ocarina, I hope you'll think of me and come back to the forest to visit. Well, you're gonna teach us the tune yet, huh? Link's body language in this scene always kind of stuck with me, the way he's almost running from her, because he kind of knows that if he doesn't go now, he probably won't at all, because she's very dear to him. I can't. Isn't it great? We see Hyrule Field for the first time and immediately are stopped in our tracks. Oh, it appears that the time has finally come for you to start your adventure. Everybody knew about this, except Link. It's kinda creepy. You'll encounter many hardships ahead. That is your fate. Don't feel discouraged, even during the toughest times. Go straight this way, and you will see Hyrule Castle. You'll meet a princess there. If you're lost and don't know which way to go, look at the map. The areas you explored will be shown on the map. Press, and so on and so forth. How dare they put the yes as the second option? Anyway, yeah, Hyrule Castle. I remember being a little down on Hyrule Field rather. Being a little down on this area simply because it didn't play the original main theme of Zelda. Which is kind of bullshit because it's at the very least alluded to, as we just showed, and also, yeah, I've always been very particular about game soundtracks and the continuity between them. Yeah, if you wanna sleep in my lap, you can, but please settle down. But yeah, back then, this was probably the biggest area like this we ever got to explore again. Even though everything is still in spitting distance from each other. So it's big. It's bigger and still feels more open than Termina Field. Probably no small part because Termina is not slapdash in the middle of it. Right, Termina Field was also... Was it one incoherent area, or was it several areas interconnected? I think it was just one. Anyway, it was a little smaller. There was a higher density of shit to do. And to a point I can appreciate that. However, I will always be in favor of Zelda games that give you a big and wide area to explore. Obviously, Breath of the Wild did that better than any Zelda game ever has, and for a while probably ever will. But like, to me, I like Wind Waker a lot for a lot of reasons, but the overworld for me was a big letdown coming off of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask. Because the overworld in Wind Waker is basically just various points on a map connected by a big blue nothing. Whereas here everything feels like it belongs together. What? What are you doing hanging around here? You little weirdo. I'm Ingo and I mind the ranch. Been working at this ranch for a long time for that lazy bum Talon. Wow, way to badmouth your boss. Today, for example, he's gone somewhere for a delivery and he hasn't come back yet. So I'm doing all the work around here. Oh well, it's tough to be a working man. Not hearing any singing. Those are some very energetic horses. Oh. Sweet. I was bracing myself for like losing 2 hearts and whatnot, but I guess we're fine. I have to say, the pre-rendered backgrounds, I mean, they're kind of obvious, but they also blend with the 3D graphics a lot better than I would think. Probably because N64 textures aren't that sharp to begin with. Right in the city. It was a side quest about him falling asleep somewhere. I think I'm not gonna engage in too much side stuff for now, and focus more on maybe getting the Goron dungeon, maybe also the third dungeon done, then do like a sweep of younglings side activities that we can do. I mean, there's also no hard cut off. I'm not sure if anything actually goes away when we reach the when we can do the time travel thingy. But yeah, it'll probably be fine. I don't think there were any hard missables among all the stuff you can collect. What was this? Oh, yeah. So let's just take in the beauty that is the Royal City. Welcome to Hyrule Castle Town. It's a peaceful, prosperous town. Really? No establishing shot, nothing? Oh, there she is. Hey, you're close. They're different. You're not from around here, are you? Oh, you're a fairy boy from the forest. My name is Marlon. My dad owns Lon Lon Ranch. Dad went to the castle to deliver some milk, and he hasn't come back yet. My dad also looks a lot like Mario. But that's neither here nor there. Anyway, I'm gonna take a quick bathroom break and maybe get a snack because I'm getting a little peckish. Yeah. I'll be back, and then we're gonna meet Zelda and get our first real glimpse at Ganon. Spoilers, it's not that exciting, but after this we go to the mountains, and that's where the really cool stuff starts happening. So, I looked up the actual dates. I was surprised to see that the actual time difference between the release of Ocarina of Time in Japan and the West was actually not that much. Like, my mind is what was a much greater, the time window was much greater. And I guess I got it confused with the release of the N64, because the N64 was actually came out in mid '96 in Japan. Launched several months later. Like, it came out in June in Japan, and in September in the US, and only in March was it released in Europe. And when you're a kid at that time and you're really eager to play this new console, and you saved up your allowance and forever, because it's been in development since forever, and they stirred the hype around it forever. Yeah. It felt like a long time. Zelda, by comparison, apparently came out in November in Japan and in December in Europe. That's a pretty short time window. But still, about 18 months between the console coming out and the Zelda game everyone wanted. And Nintendo probably wanted this time to be a little shorter, but yeah. Never mind that. Now, let's explore. Yes. I just quit the game. No. But you can actually always save. Okay. Can't. That's my food. This beard is my pride and joy. Doesn't it look luxuriant, kid? What? You're looking for the guy from Lon Lon Ranch? Maybe. I saw a guy with shabby looking beard delivering some boxes to the castle. Yes, because we all know fresh milk comes in boxes. That creepy fucking owl. The princess is inside the castle just ahead. Be careful not to get caught by the guards. Woo hoo hoo hoo. On this ground, time flies normally. But time stands still while you're in Lon Lon Ranch or in a town. Do you have to call attention to this fact? If you want time to pass normally, you will need to leave town. Oh well, which way are you going to go now? Woo hoo hoo. I'm not sure if this was just, I don't know, just happenstance, or if they actively wanted the owl to troll you. By the way, the answers are the pre-selected answers will always repeat this long-winded text. Ooh, you're a smart kid. Good luck then. Yeah. People always bag on Navi, but in my opinion the owl has aged much more poorly. Right, this is actually what we do in order to bypass this guard. So you say you want to see Princess Zelda, huh? You probably heard about her in town and decided you had to meet her. Well, go home, get out of here. The princess would never grant an audience to the likes of you. Okay. Sorry, had to deal with that spam account. Right, right stick. Yeah, totally not a bombable location. The statue's one-eyed gaze pierces into your mind. Boing boing, the current time is 9:17. Oh, come, our ranch is so fun. Come on, look around. Oh, this is unfortunate. this was a very aggravating back and forth segment. Anyway, let's expose ourselves to the gods. Hey you, stop, you kid, over there. They don't disarm me. They don't throw me in jail. Oh, hi. You're going to the castle, fairy boy? Would you mind finding my dad? He must have fallen asleep somewhere around the castle. What a thing for an adult to do. Teehee. Oh yeah, if you look for him, I'll give this to you. I've been incubating this egg very carefully. Why would you give it to me now? Got a weird egg. Feels like there's something moving inside. My dad is really troublesome for an adult, isn't he? She's awfully cavalier about that, but... The governor arranges us to find her father. I wonder where he is. Oh, bless her heart. Probably one of my favorite bits from Ocarina of Time. Not just Epona's song, but the way Malon sings it. How? Why? Say. Thought that maybe she would already teach us the song, but there's probably no point to it, huh? Look, a chicken hatched from the egg you're incubating. The miracle of life. Yeah, that's what eggs... Never mind. Anything that has derailed Link's breakfast plans. What a tarnation! Can't a person get a little shut-eye around here? Oh, relatable. Hello, and who might you be? Yep, I'm Talon, the owner of the Lon Lon Ranch. Went to the castle to deliver some milk, but I sat down here to rest, so I guess I fell asleep. What? Malon was looking for me. I'm gonna catch it from here now. I'm gonna catch it from her now. I messed up bad leaving Malon behind to wait for me. She's really gonna let me have it. His arms are weirdly long. Oh well. We can't even hide in the barrels. They're also not giving us a cardboard box, which I'm not even sure how people are supposed to sneak without them. Yeah, I'm not that greedy. Is that statue just a 2D sprite? First try. This thing was so aggravating when I was a kid. It just occurred to me that I've always just hammered through Zelda's Garden with little to no consideration. So, few little Mario cameos over here. Even Luigi is here. Who are you? How did you get past the guards? I'm Solid Snake. Oh, what's that? Is that a fairy? Then are you from the forest? Then you wouldn't happen to have have the spiritual stone of the forest, would you? That green and shining stone? Do you have it? Yeah, Link is that guy. He is that trusting. Just as I thought. I had a dream. In the dream, dark storm clouds were billowing over the land of Hyrule. But suddenly a ray of light shot out of the forest, parted the clouds, and lit up the ground. Trust me, that dream was way cooler than anything we have yet done in this game. The light turned into a figure holding a green and shining stone, followed by a fairy. I know this is a prophecy that someone would come from the forest. Yes, I thought you might be the one. I'm sorry. I got carried away with my story and didn't even properly introduce myself. I am Zelda, Princess of Hyrule. What is your name? Link. Strange, it sounds somehow familiar. Okay then, Link. I'm going to tell you the secret of the Sacred Realm that has been passed down by the royal family for Hyrule. Royal family of Hyrule. Please keep this a secret from everyone. Sure. The legend goes like this. He immediately puts this on his life journal. The three goddesses hid the Triforce containing the power of the gods somewhere in Hyrule. The power to grant the wish of the one who holds the Triforce in their hands. If someone with a righteous heart makes a wish, it will lead Hyrule to a golden age of prosperity. If someone with an evil mind has his wish granted, the world will be consumed by evil. That is what has been told. So the ancient sages built a Temple of Time to protect the Triforce from evil ones. That's right, the Temple of Time is the entrance through which you can enter the Sacred Realm from our world. But the entrance is sealed with a stone wall called the Door of Time. In order to open the door, it is said that you need to collect 3 spiritual stones. And another thing you need is the treasure that the royal family keeps along with this legend, the Ocarina of Time. Did you understand? Did you understand well the story I just told you? That's great. I forgot to tell you. I was spying through this window just now. The other element from my dream, the dark clouds, I believe they symbolize that man in there. You look through the window at him. I like that she basically told us everything important almost within earshot of him. Can you see the man with the evil eyes? That is Ganondorf, the leader of the Gerudos. They hail from the desert far to the west. Though he swears allegiance to my father, I'm sure he's not sincere. The dark clouds that covered Hyrule in my dream, they must symbolize that man. What happened? Did he see you? Don't worry. He doesn't have any idea what we're planning. Yet. Yes, I told my father about my dream. However, he didn't believe it. It was a prophecy. But I can sense that man's evil intentions. What Ganondorf is after must be nothing less than the Triforce of the Sacred Realm. Well, that or maybe your hand in marriage, if you're very unlucky. Must have come to Hyrule to obtain it. And he wants to conquer Hyrule. No, the entire world. Link, now we are the only ones who can protect Hyrule. Please. Okay. Thank you. I'm afraid. I have a feeling that man is going to destroy Hyrule. He has such terrifying power. But it's fortunate that you have come. We must not let Ganondorf get the Triforce. I will protect the Ocarina of Time with all my power. He shall not have it. You go find the other 2 spiritual stones. Let's get the Triforce before Ganondorf does, and then defeat him. One more thing. Take this letter. I'm sure it will be helpful to you. You received Zelda's letter. Wow. The letter has Princess Zelda's autograph. Yeah, of course. She signed it. Hey cat, what's up? Hmm? My attendant will guide you out of the castle. Don't be afraid to talk to her. Oh hi, it's Impa. First badass incarnation of Impa. I'm Impa of the Sheikers. I'm responsible for protecting Princess Zelda. Everything is exactly as the princess foretold. You're a courageous boy. You're heading out on a big new adventure, aren't you? My role in the princess's dreams was to teach a melody to the one from the forest. This is an ancient melody passed down by the royal family. I've played this song for Princess Zelda as a lullaby ever since she was a baby. There's mysterious power in these notes. Now, listen carefully. You've learned Zelda's lullaby. If the castle soldiers find you, there will be trouble. Let me lead you out of the castle. You're a brave lad. We must protect this beautiful land of Hyrule. Take a good look at that mountain. That is Death Mountain, home of the Gorons. They hold the spiritual stone of fire. At the foot of Death Mountain you will find my village, Kakariko. That is where I was born and raised. You should talk to some of the villagers there before you go up Death Mountain. The song I just taught you has some mysterious power. Only royal family members are allowed to learn this song. Remember, it will help to prove your connection with the royal family. The princess is waiting for you to return to the castle with the stones. Alright, we're counting on you. And we're off to the races. Ding dong, I'm a clock soldier of Kakariko. The current time is 1503. Hello there, son. Zelda's attendant, the Great Impa, opened this village to the common people. We have only a small population now, but someday this place will be as lively as Hyrule Castle town. Oh yes, it will. Climb up the stairs to the north end of the village to find the trail that leads to Death Mountain. But you need the king's permission to actually go up the mountain. Well, luckily we have that. I am the boss of the carpenters that Impa hired to improve this village and make it into a true city. But young men these days don't have any ambition. Do you know what I mean, kid? My workers are just running aimlessly around the village, and they're not making any progress. Even my own son doesn't have a job, and he just wanders around all day. They're all worthless, I tell you. All day long we are working on many construction projects in the village. It's going to take a while before everything is done. Our boss works us very hard. Well, I can see that. My little boy isn't here right now. I think he went to play in the graveyard. Okay. The road is closed beyond this point. Can't you read the sign over there? Eh? Oh, I see. You're just a kid and you can't read yet. Huh. Oh, this is surely Princess Zelda's handwriting. Well, let's see. Okay. This is Link. He's under my orders to save Hyrule. Hahaha. What a kind of funny game has our princess come up with now. Okay, alright. You can go now. Just be careful, Mr. Hero. By the way, Mr. Hero, if you're going to climb Death Mountain, you should equip a proper shield. It is an active volcano after all. If you go back to Hyrule Castle Town Market, you should check out the bazaar. They sell the shield you need here. Tell them I sent you and they should give you a special discount. If you think you're good to go already, don't worry about it. I would like to ask a favor of you. I don't expect you to do it just because of a great tip I just give you. I'm just asking. Have you been to the Happy Mask shop that just opened in the Hyrule Castle Town Market? Everyone is talking about it. My little boy pisses me for a popular mask, but I don't have time to go there. So could you go and get the mask for me next time you're in the market? If you don't feel like it, that's okay, but, well, I have no choice. This is my job. So, could you give us some money for that mask up front? No? Job where you can make a lot of money without much effort. The only thing I can't think of is theory. Is that a bad idea? I suppose. I might actually keep this a shorter stream today, because I think I'm getting a bit of a headache. And, yeah. Kinda feel like wrapping it up soonish. It's a shame, I was hoping to cover at least 2 dungeons, but, yeah. Let's do the side quest. What should I do? My Cuckoos have all flown away. You little boy, please help me bring them back to this pen. My Cuckoos have run away. Please catch 6 more. Okay. Not even sure if you can get them all at this point. If we need bombs to take care of certain elements. I'm not sure if you can destroy these. Oh, you can. Never mind. Game. Please. There we go. I like that there's a cooldown on the throw, as in when you mash the button out a little to pick it up, it doesn't immediately throw them away. Two more, huh? Okay. Have you seen Mr. Dumpy, who lives in the graveyard up ahead? 1503, so he's probably asleep in his hut. Why don't you go out there into the field and kill some time? Well, if I wanted to meet the gravedigger right now, that would totally be my jam, but I don't. There's one behind the enclosure. I wonder if my efforts are reset when I go into a building. I hope not. Let's see. Oh. Let's just see what happens when we move to another area. So, Majora's Mask obviously takes the cake in terms of Zelda weirdness, but there's plenty to go around in this game, and I love it for it. Oh. Oh. A good chance we can't even do this now. Oh. That's a shame. Anyway. Like I said, shorter session today. We're gonna tackle Death Mountain next time. Let's see if the... Oh, the quest is not reset, that's nice. Save both ways. Okay, And that's gonna do it for today. Thank you all for watching. I'll be back. Maybe not tomorrow because I got a lot of stuff lined up. Maybe tomorrow evening, but that could work out. But yeah, Thursday at the latest. If you're new here and you wanna be informed when I go online, you can follow me here on Twitch or on Twitter or Mastodon, where I always post online alerts as well. And yeah, more Ocarina of Time when I come back. Yeah. So, again, sorry about the short session, but self-care is important, and I'd rather counteract the beginnings of a headache with maybe laying down for a bit, drinking some water, and taking it easy instead of staring at the screen. And yeah, all of you, please also take care of yourself, take care of someone else, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.